Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ. Bear with me. 1 second, Israel. Gonna get right to it. All right, Most High in Christ. All right, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Brakathum. Yahweh Shemar Thum Bashim Yahushua. Priest and officer 5,000 Yedaya holding it down till 12 Shield General Mahayaman gets here. Understand something. Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. What we have to understand is important. That now is the time for us to separate from our enemies, separate from the oppressor, separate from America, separate from these heathens. Because what we have to realize, man, they don't give a damn about us, like bud. We have to be the ones that care about our people. Like the Samboing I've been seeing, you know what I mean, for Charlie Kirk, I bought it's just been insane. I seen y'all homegirl, y'all probably like your diet, who my homegirl. Your homegirl Candace Owens was still out there upset that she wasn't a part, you know what I mean, of remembering Charlie Kirk. And she's like, well, I was one of his only black friends. Shalom, warrior. Goes to show you something, man. The oppressor cannot stand us, Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman. They don't have no regard, no respect, nothing. It is very important to do what our God said to do. If I could, give me Romans chapter 12, well, Romans chapter 13 and verse 11, and Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. Let me get Leviticus 20 and 26 first, though. See, our God wanted us to be separate from this oppressor anyway. What goes on in his world and what goes on with his people should be his issues and his problems. The problem with our people, according to y'all, is that we want to emulate Esau's culture. You want to emulate the white man. And how do you emulate the white man? By wanting to be a gangster. Oh, I know what they say. Shalom, sir. You want it? I'll take it. No, I'll take it. I ain't messing with you, man. What's funny about the oppressor's culture, right? Gang culture is the white man's culture. How do you know gang culture is the white man's culture? He invented the gangs. I know they like to tell that old story out there in Los Angeles about, you know, brothers that wore red versus brothers that wore blue, but those brothers was just trying to defend their neighborhoods. What about them Bloods that was in the Roman Empire? Going up against them Crips in the Roman Empire. You already know that, right? You do know Rome had different factions. And the white people that wore blue beef with the ones that wore red. And had the ones that wore white in the middle. The ones in the white killed politicians. Ask Caesar. He down there right now with Charlie Kirk having a nice conversation, not for the Christians out there. Gang culture is white culture. And that's why we have to separate ourselves from the oppressor. You trying to emulate him. You trying to be, you know what I mean, Italian mafioso. You trying to be Gambino. You trying to be Gotti. You trying to be Capone, who's killed more people, my God, in broad daylight, just like them thugs in Utah, like bud. That's why separation is key. We're not supposed to emulate that. That's not how we're supposed to live our lives. Give me Leviticus 20 and 26, Bubba Control.
Kabaka. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, and verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me.
When the Bible says ye shall be holy unto me, understand what the word holy means. The word holy means to be separate or set apart. That's what it means to be holy. Holy is not your grandma or your auntie or your mama with the feathered hat on in church with the white gown and robe on. It's not your pastor neither. It means to be holy, it means to be separate. The children of Israel was meant to be set apart from everyone else. Keep reading.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
For the Most High is set apart. The Most High is holy. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee, I buy. Now we get into the gritty of it. Now the Bible is saying that the Most High is separate. Yahweh is separate. I was looking at something earlier, right, where some devil at Charlie Kirk's memorial, you know, he got it right. Yeah, he down there. I've been seeing a lot of this, Israel. He down here. For the Christians out there. I saw this devil at this memorial and said, you know, we descend from Europe. God is on our side. We're God's people. And I'm like, whoo, Esau arrogant. He don't realize the Most High God of this Bible is not the God of him. The God of this Bible is not the God of the Arabs, not the God of the Afghanistanis or the Africans or the Polynesians or Samoans. This God of this Bible, Yahweh, is the God of niggas. And he is separate, set apart. Keep going.
Kawakan. For I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people.
And have severed you from other people. Meaning this. I take a blade, sever my arm from my body, my arm is no longer attached. Our God severed us from these heathens, man, and guess what? We ain't supposed to be with them. He severed us from the oppressor. What the oppressor has going on, that should have no concern with us. With Moab, the Chinese, you know what I mean, and Ammon, the Japanese, what they got going on, guess what? That shouldn't even be a concern for Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. But our problem is, Aquania, can you give me Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31? Our problem is we seek to be like the oppressor. Now you sitting up there samboing and crying about Charlie Kirk. Oh, it's a sad story, ain't it? It's a sad story. That devil went out there and said that black people are white people are more than likely to be attacked by white people. And went out there to Utah and found out, that it'd be your own niggas. That's life. Guess what? That's not culture that we're supposed to emulate. You see how the oppressor can unalive his own and go on about his day? You see how these other nations can do that? Our God never intended that to be for us. That's why we were given statutes and commandments and laws. They don't have that. The oppressor is a lawless bastard who does not abide by anything. No code, no nothing. Our God had something better for us. Go ahead, Aquani, y'all read what you got. Please, into the mic. The water.
It's the book of Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 21.
31.
30. Salam. Envy thou not the oppressor.
The Bible says to envy thou not the oppressor. Meaning this, don't look at what the oppressor has and say, oh man, I gotta have that. I gotta live like Bill. I gotta live like Bob. I gotta live like Goldberg. A lot of times we are sold a false dream. And that's really what it is here in America. We've been sold a false dream, thinking that this is our way of life. This is who we must emulate. The problem with emulating the oppressor, you're going to get all of his bad qualities because he doesn't have any good ones. All of the worst qualities. You become a murderer. You become an unaliver, a rapist, you know what I mean, a pedophile. You become an evil, wicked bastard trying to emulate this white man. That's why our God said, envy thou not the oppressor. The sad thing is that the oppressor can look at our people and say, wow, look at these thugs. Not realizing you're the original thug. You're the one, you know what I mean, that we're trying to emulate. You're the one, you know what I mean, that started gang wars, gurus. And that's who we got to follow? Nah. Our God said, envy thou not the oppressor. And what?
And choose none of his ways.
And when he says choose none of his ways, that includes Halloween, that includes Thanksgiving, that includes Christmas, that even includes voting. I know a lot of y'all believe here in America, that you can vote your way out of a situation. I was talking to a brother earlier today, Officer Knott, and he was telling me that the real problem with black people is that we don't vote. I said, so what was our problem when we weren't allowed to vote? Crickets. I said, okay. What was our problem? We were voting, and we were voting for who the oppressor told us to vote for, but our problem remained the same. Right. Therefore, we have to conclude the problem ain't us. The problem is trying to vote being black. The problem is trying to vote being Latino. It doesn't have, nobody on that ballot has the best interest of our people. But you know who does? The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. That's who has the best interest for our people. Envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. Go ahead, Ibad.
We have a king, so we're not doing him justice if we vote for somebody else.
What I buy is saying it's heavy. We have a king, but do you emulate our king? No, you want to emulate the white man. You know what it truly means to be a Christian that most Christians don't understand? Is to be Christ-like. Because Peter was like Christ. John was like Christ. Bartholomew was like Christ. Thomas was like Christ. Paul was like Christ. What does it mean to be like Christ? Not only to follow our king, but to obey and live the way that he did. You know what Christ didn't do? Christ wasn't out here eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. Christ wasn't out here with his head up the rear end of any of the oppressors during the time of his day, because guess what? The white man walked the earth during the time of Christ. And what did Christ say? I went over this yesterday. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, but render unto the Yahweh what is Yahweh. The problem is you don't want to render unto our God. You want to join yourself to the oppressor. You worry and care more about Caesar. You care more about Donald Trump, Charlie Kirk. Like look, I've seen, let me know if I'm tripping or not. I've seen more Sambos mourning this oppressor than I've seen these same Sambos mourn a family member or a close friend. And that is sad. That is sad. Like I had somebody I went to high school with, knock, and he told, like, we lost one of our homies last year, and he was like Cam, niggas die every day, B. But you wanted to walk the political route. You're like, oh, what happened to Charlie Kirk was a travesty. He was unalived in front of his family. And I'm like, damn, nigga, how many of us get unalived in front of our families? Too many of us. Too many. We get unalived in front of the whole community, the whole block. That's why you can't have, and to quote our dear boy Charlie, who's down there right now talking to Hitler and all of, they playing dominoes right now, knock. they playing bones out there for my Christian friends. Guess what? What we have to realize and what we have to understand, Kirk didn't want sympathy and empathy. And guess what? We shouldn't give it to him. Empathy and sympathy should only be for the Lord's people. Should only be for la raza. Nosotros somos familia una raza. That's who we have empathy and sympathy for. Who is going to mourn that poor Hispanic brother and sister? Who's going to mourn that First Nation brother and sister? Who's going to mourn that West Indian brother and sister? Do you know that the East Indian is the oppressor over there in Trinidad and Tobago, in Jamaica, and Guyana, St. Lucia? Oppressing the hell out of God's people. You can forget about what goes on in Haiti. You can forget about what goes on in the Dominican Republic. Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman, now is the time to realize and wake up to our true identity and to stop trying to be like the oppressor. Don't choose any of his ways. Don't. You shouldn't be a Democrat or a Republican. You should not. You shouldn't. Because like Ibad said, we have a king. We do. And having that king and understanding the sacrifice that he gave, he didn't give up his life so we could follow behind Trump and Kirk and Biden and all these other oppressors. No. Christ gave up his life so we can have the opportunity to come back to our God. Can I get Romans chapter 13 and verse 11, Baba Kashaw? Get Mahayaman to be here shortly, Israel.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
In that, knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
In that, knowing the time, that it is high time to awake out of sleep. Now it is high time to wake out of sleep. You know what our problem is, Ibad? We fast asleep right now. We have no idea what's going on around us. You know what's one of our favorite phrases, y'all, you know what I'm getting ready to go with it. They be like, well, brother, you got to stay woke. What the hell does stay woke mean? Let me tell you something. I'm about to speak for Knock, myself, Marah, and every brother that's getting ready to feel us. I'm tired. I'm tired. Like, and when y'all say that, stay woke, you're making it worse. Because what you're trying to imply for telling me to stay woke, you're talking about yourself. Because you believe anything they tell you in that dream. Because that's what you were sold. Our problem is now we wide awake and tired of the foolishness that's going on with our people. Our God told us, the water warrior, I appreciate you. To arise, wait, so read it again, I bud.
And that knowing the time,
And that knowing the time. You got to know what time it is. Read.
that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Now it is high time to awake out of sleep. Your problem is you telling me to stay woke and you fast asleep right now. You fast asleep. What's that horror villain? Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger is America, and he's keeping you in a perpetual nightmare. But the problem with the oppressor here in America, he disguises this nightmare with everything you've ever wanted. You living off an illusion, off a fantasy full of drugs, lust, and everything. And you believe if you strive, you know what I mean, for what he wants you to strive for, you can be anything you want here in America. I'm here to tell you, brother, now, brother, what you think you can be in America, you can be far greater by coming and doing what our God said to do than any merit on what the oppressor can offer you. You got to understand something. When Christ walked the earth, he was tempted too. Satan took him and said, I will give you all of this. And he said, get thee behind me. If our king could do that, you know what I mean, to resist that temptation, I'll be given all that. Guess what? You could tell Esau to walk on by. Right. You can tell the oppressor, you know what I mean, to get behind you, because there's something greater that we have to fight for, Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, that is greater than you clocking hours at an elevator plantation. It's greater than that. It's greater than you worrying about that raise. It's greater than you worrying about how you can elevate your status in this kingdom. How about come and elevate Christ's kingdom? How about, do you ever think about doing that? Why does Christ's kingdom have to be second to your, I'm gonna be nice. Why does Christ's kingdom have to be second to your dreams of grandeur here in America, which is false? And it'll never happen. It'll never happen. That car that you putting money into, that slavery that you given, you know what I mean, the oppressor all them hours, the Lord can take that away just like that.
Right.
Just like that. And then you'll have nothing. But you won't have nothing. You'll always have the I.S.U.P.K. That's what every Black, Latino, and First Nation man needs to understand, and why you have to come back to your senses and get right now. Don't be that brother or sister that has to get your ass whooped every now and then and say, I'm coming in tomorrow. That's essentially what it is, Ibad. You saying you want to come in tomorrow, you're putting off the inevitable. I'm going to get right tomorrow. I'm going to get right next week. Let me tell you something. There ain't no tomorrow. There ain't no next week. That's how you have to look at things. You have to understand and say, damn, this blunt could be the last one that I can smoke and I could be up out of here. Slugger, sir.
If I could, every time I think about that, I think of this movie called Meet Joe Black, right? The lady was walking away from, I forget who played Joe Black, but they turned around and said bye to each other. He walked across the street, got hit by a car, bang, and then he got hit by another car, bang, while he was falling. And she turned around like, oh my God. And it's literally like that. Like you could turn around, walk across the street, get hit by a bus, and it's all over. You know what I'm saying? You don't got time.
You don't. All of a sudden, knock is saying it's heavy. You don't have time, Black man. You don't have time, Latino man and woman. And you wasted it. You don't have time and you trying to play with it. You can go just like that. Just like that. You know what I mean? You know how many cases we've seen of brothers and sisters who was fully healthy, in better shape than me. And the Lord will be like, stroke, heart attack, you go to sleep and never wake up. That's why it's saying arise. Well, so like we might as well just pull it, Micah, you know what I mean, 2 and 10. I keep going to Micah 2 and 10, but I love that precept, and I love Romans 13:11 too. Now is the time for us to awake out of sleep. Because with that sleep, man, you keep, you know what I mean, dreaming about the oppressor's kingdom, man. You'll miss out on Christ's kingdom. You don't want to be that brother and sister in the kingdom saying, man, I knew Ibad. I knew Mathum Yad. I knew Knock. I knew Yadai. I knew Aquana Yah. Both of them. And guess what? I'm going to be like, Bob, going to be like, well, brother, what happened to you? You see, it was this porch, right? And I jumped off it. It's a rough one. Keep reading.
2 and 10, sir.
Yeah, finish Romans 13, 11, then go to Micah.
This is the book of Romans 13, verse 11. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
Our salvation is right there. It's like the fourth quarter, and it's less than 2 minutes left, and we don't have a timeout. There are no timeouts left. None. Our salvation is nearer than what we believe. Alawat Panya. Barak. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
Get on. Appreciate you. All right. Okay, I'll answer all of your questions. Nosotros somos la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Comenzamos en 1 Oeste Calle 125 Harlem, Nueva York. Desde 1969, debajo del mando, General YAHANNA. Canales, esta es la verdad. Si tú eres hombres hispanos, negros, indio, nativo, tú eres Israel, el pueblo elegido de Dios. Tu madre y tu padre dicen que somos un culto y mantienen su iglesia. Pero su iglesia es culpable de todo lo que nos están pasando. Órale. Gracias. Haz tu preguntas. Please ask your questions. I'm ready to rock.
Yes, sir. The first question online, sir, is this is from Yaquawam, I.S.U.P.K, Louisiana. Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah. Salaki, sir, if I could, with your grace, Baba Kashaw,
Please.
get a breakdown of Revelation chapter 12 and verse 4, particularly the tale that drew the third part.
No problem.
Let's catch it up for allow everyone to please get caught up, if you don't mind. This is a prophecy in the book of Revelations about our oppressor and the fall of our oppressor. If you can look around right now, you'll see that we're in the end of the world tonight. This very day, we're in the end of the world. It's slowly falling. How do you know that? Because these prophecies are coming to pass. And if you're terrified and if you want to hold on to this place where your oppressor has absolute control over you, then of course you'll be very afraid of the coming events. So this is a prophecy about the end of the world. This is what it's going to be like, and I'll explain, all right? Please.
Okay. This is the book of Revelation 12 and verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven.
This is speaking about the dragon, right? That great red dragon. It's a metaphor for our oppressor's military might. The great red dragon, the serpent in the Garden of Eden. This is speaking about our oppressor. And he's flying through the sky, and he's so powerful that imagine like a dog, it wags its tail. A dog or a cow or a horse. It's wagging its tail, and its tail is so powerful, it knocks over everything around it, right? That's the metaphor to explain how powerful our oppressor is. Imagine a dragon or a serpent in the sky that's so big that when it waves its tail, it knocks a third of the stars out of the sky because he's so damn powerful, right? That's a metaphor for his power and to the destruction that he can do. Why is that metaphor important? Because he's going to lose the great battle in 1 hour. That's the point. The point is that he's big, he's strong, no man can handle him, no country can conquer him, but the Most High God is going to make quick work of him. Everyone understands, all right? That's the point, that's the breakdown. Anything else? Haz preguntas. No problem.
No more questions online.
Please,
sir.
warrior. In Philadelphia, you got it. He has a question.
Shalom, sir. I have a question.
Please.
How did Christianity get so connected with birthdays?
Say that one more time.
Like, how did birthdays become a big part of Christianity? Like,
I'll explain. I got to take you back to the Roman Catholic Church, all right, to understand that. Every form of Christianity originally started with the Roman Catholic Church. The Romans, of course, killed Christ, killed the disciples, And then under a black man who ruled Rome, whose name was Constantine, he had a dream that he saw this symbol in the sky. And even though at that time the true disciples of Christ were in persecution, they were hiding, they were living underground in makeshift sewers and graves, and they were terrified. But after he had this vision, then now he believed that he won the battle because of the vision. And so then he legalized our faith. Before that, everyone hated us because we were monotheists. We only believed in one God. The brother sent me some video today of the purple pigs, the IUIC, saying that Jesus is God, that Jesus is the God of the Old Testament. And I said, these fake Israelite groups are so boring because they're so predictable. All of them just do the exact same thing. Eventually, Jesus is God. Eventually, the other nations can be saved. Eventually, race doesn't matter. They just all become Catholic. That's how powerful that beast is. Like, if you are not standing your ground with your courage screwed to the wall, you're going to become a Catholic. You'll be an Israelite Catholic. You'll be a Jewish Catholic. You'll be a Muslim Catholic. It'll happen. Well, that's how it started with the Catholics. So then once the Catholics began to say, okay, you can come out of hiding, Israelites who follow Jesus Christ, but you got to make some compromises, some changes. You have to agree that other people can have other gods. You have to agree that Jesus is God. You have to agree that Mary did not have sex. These happened during councils that they had periodically, the Council of Chalcedon, the Council of Nicene. And they began to do that because the Romans believed in more than one God. The Romans believed that Zeus had sex with a woman and made Pericles, or made 1,000 people, 1,000 different deities. So they, in essence, melded the religions together. You get my point. That would just keep happening. Then as the Catholics spread all throughout Europe, they brought the mistletoe into Christianity. They brought the 4-leaf or 3-leaf clover into Christianity. They brought the Yule log, the Halloween. They brought all these things that were around before the Christian church, gracias, but they were pagan. But they allowed their people to do them. They melded every strange religion into the Catholic Church. So now if you're a Catholic, you can worship Yule logs, Christmas trees, mistletoes, leprechauns, 3-leaf clovers, everything. Halloween, they brung it in, right? You ever see how Christians today in black churches have a Halloween service for church? You're seeing it happen right in front of you then. Well, this, of course, has nothing to do with Jesus, right? Why is there I'm good, I said, I'm fine. That's still bien. But why is this in church? It's their way of bringing everything under one roof. You get my point? Well, that happened 1,000 years ago. Romans had a tradition of every Roman citizen, not the slaves and the poor people, not us, but every legitimate Roman citizen had the right to be a god once a year. You could be a god. Caesar would be a god during a triumph, which they call today an inauguration, which was at one time called a Roman triumph. There was different times when rich people could become gods. Well, this would be their day. You would give them a sacrifice, a gift. You would have a giant celebration for them because they were a god today. You could treat them the way you treated Juno or Saturn or Mars. You understand? And that was on the day of your birth. All of the holidays that we have for like Janus, January, that's the birthday of Janus. That day that we celebrate January. What's the thing in January? New Year's Eve. That's Janus's birthday. And Valentine's Day, that's the wolf god's Februa's. That's her birthday. Like all of the things that we celebrate now, that's the birthday of a god. December 25th is the birthday of Nimrod. Do you understand? Well, if you have money in Rome, you too could be a god on your birthday. And that was Roman tradition. This is something that is easily Googleable right now. All right? You got to be a god. So now Romans can be gods on their birthday. Once the Catholics wanted the Romans to come to church, they said, you can be a god in the Catholic Church as well. Then later on, about the 1500s, the Catholic Church had break-off groups. They called them Protestants. and they broke off from the Catholic Church, and they just took the exact same traditions into the African Methodists, the Episcopalians, the Baptists, the Seventh-day Adventists, blah, blah, blah. You understand? So it comes from Rome. It's Roman tradition. It is unlawful because Shema Yasha'Allah Ayahalana wa Yahweh Akkad. We have one God. Jesus Christ is not God, and neither are you on your birthday. You're not allowed to be a God. Jesus Christ is not allowed to be a God. The Holy Spirit is not allowed to be a God, and you are not allowed to be a God on your birthday. Understood? Entiendo? Yo entiendo. Gracias. Anything else?
Across the street from the prayer, they found the dead God.
Perdóname. Lo entiendes. Tú entiende. Gracias. Tú entiende. Gracias. No.
How long was it?
What I said first was I understand. I wanted to say, do you understand?
Or the summertime, because
Go ahead.
Inside the house?
Yeah.
Pashah Bun Yahawada, Slak Yalawap, can you break down Psalms chapter 27, verse 10 through 12?
Psalms 2 and 27, verses 10 through 12. No
Tom.
problem. Sin problema. Go ahead.
Kawaka.
The only
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 27, and verse 10. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up.
That's an old school One West breakdown right there, brother. That's one of the perfect precepts, like in the Apocrypha, when it says, young man, when thou desirest to serve the Lord, prepare thy heart for temptation. This is a precept you need when you come into the school, right? Because for many of us, coming into the school means the rejection of the people who you used to depend on for validation.
The mic is on and on.
It's part of it, right? It's part of it. Like just like when you come into the truth, you have to prepare yourself for being tempted to stay in the world and stay on the same path of death that you were on before, and you have to fight that. Well, read it one more time, and I'll explain.
Kawaka.
You gotta change.
When my father and my mother forsake me,
When my father and my mother forsake me, go ahead.
then the Lord will take me up.
Then the Most High will take me up. The term "take me up" is like you're down and out, but the Most High now decides that He will take on the responsibility to take care of you. He'll look out for you, and that can happen because many of you, because you decide to be a better person, because you decide finally to have something that many of us, our mothers never had, our fathers never had, our preachers never had. You decided to have a conscience towards God. And because of that, your mother will hate you. Your father will hate you. Your best friends, your wife, your husband, the people you looked up to before, they'll hate you because you have a conscience towards God now. And they'll reject you. And they won't want you to come around. That child who calls you daddy will say, Daddy, I don't want you to come over here anymore because I don't want you to drag me into your religion. That is something, brother. The brother told me today, his idiot son, who will be locked up in jail any day, told me that his son told him that he told social workers or someone that he doesn't want to live with his father because his father dragged him into his religion. And I remember hearing that going, I spent about 20 some odd years in the world. Have you ever heard of a Christian household of this term, my mother is dragging me into her religion? I've never heard that before I came into the school. Like, I didn't even know it was a concept of you could not drag your child into your religion. I wish I would have known because I couldn't stand going to that church. Hated it. But I didn't even have the concept of, you mean you got a choice not to go to church? I didn't even understand that. But these little bastards who come into the school that you try to bring into the school, you'll try to bring them to class. They're going to tell some teacher, my father's trying to force me into his religion. I thought that's what every parent did. You telling me was my mother was dragging me, beating with me with an extension cord to get out of bed to go on Sunday. You telling me I could have said, Mom, my choice is not to go there today. I didn't know that. I didn't know that even was a thing that a child could do. Come to find out, the minute you want to be in the truth, you can say you don't want to be your parents' religion. Who knew? Please, warrior, get a microphone.
Lucky, I just wanted to say, my wife told me that exact thing tonight.
Tonight. What's your name?
Haquana,
Aquania. Say it again.
Trooper Haquana.
Trooper Aquania. Give him a hand now. You're one West. Now you see that?
I was trying to bring my kids with me tonight. My wife is a Christian, and she didn't want me to bring them. She said that we don't like you teach half truths, and she said, well, we don't follow what y'all follow. I was like, well, we teach the Bible. That's all we do. But she just didn't want me to bring the kids with me tonight. I could have brought them, but I wanted them to see that she don't want them to learn. And like she used one of my kids, like their birthday is in October. She was like, well, if you go with your dad tonight, you can't celebrate your birthday because his religion don't celebrate birthdays. And I was like my kids just start crying because they wanted to come with dad. But yeah, I just wanted to.
Well, Haquania, you and I are now the same. We're the same now. Now you have been through what I went through as a trooper, and what Commanding General YAHANNA went through, and what countless brothers have been through. Now we're one, right? Now we carry the same cross. You understand, right? That's what happens, Ak. That's what happens. Because your mother many times is so evil, she doesn't want a child to have a conscience. She wants a child to be selfish, which is what your wife is teaching your child. She wants this child to say, don't ever choose God over presence. Don't ever choose righteousness instead of selfish reward. And then, of course, you'll have a society where people sell drugs and they don't care about the repercussions, where people harm each other and they don't care about the repercussions. Please, microphone.
If I could, General, what you're saying is just so heavy, sir. I was telling Ibad to put something on the screen, because for you to say, you can't bring you can't have your kids come up, you know what I mean, in the faith that you walk in. This is how the oppressor bring his children up, sir.
It's an amazing thing. The oppressor brings his children to a Ku Klux Klan meeting, Nazi meetings. No one says, you can't. no one says you're not supposed to do that. People bring children to Christian churches where they're going to be molested in those churches. There is an epidemic in Christian schools, in Christian churches, of child molestation. And still people bring their children there. Let me tell you something, Doc. I know it can be rough because I went through it. I went through that 25, God knows how many years ago, went through the same thing. But this is what your wife doesn't understand. Somehow or other, God will take you up. God will be on your side, and he will be against your wife, Doc. You're going to see it happen. You're going to see a child that was taught by an evil mother to hate her father, was taught selfishness. Then around, how old is the child now? Yes. Oh, she's 9. Well, let me tell you something about 9. 13 is coming. Woo, 13 is coming. Running like a horse. And then when the child gets 13, this mother who wanted a selfish 9-year-old, who wanted a 9-year-old who had no conscience, then she has a 13 or 14-year-old girl with no conscience. And you know what she's doing? She's saying, please get her. Please bring her to that school you're in. Please come help me. Please, can you do something about this? And then you'll say, I'm with my other wives. You understand, right? Yeah, that's the cure. That's the cure for a disobedient woman, a good woman. That's all. Before you know it, she becomes less and less relevant in your life, because the Most High God will give you other women that will have you in honor. You understand? Please, next question.
This is from Trooper Shakat. Did Jacob break the law by having Leah as his second wife?
No, I don't, unless you're talking about something I don't know about. No, it's lawful to have another wife. Who was Jacob? What did he do with that? Is that the one with the women when he had sex with both of them? Oh, they was sisters. No, he didn't break the law at all. That was good to go. Remember, this is before Moses. When he did this, Moses had not instituted the law of you cannot have sex with your wife's sister. This predates all of that. This is the reason that Moses instituted it, because Moses saw the problems that men had from having two women who were physical sisters. It was all an out war in the house. So Moses decided, no more of that. Do not go into your wife's sister. And he made all kinds of rules in an attempt to pacify the home. He also gave us a bill of divorce and said you can leave her if you find, if you want to, if you have any reason to leave her, for any reason at all, you could leave her. Moses did that to try to calm the domestic violence down, the domestic issues down. But the Most High God didn't want it like that. The Most High God wanted us to never separate. Everybody understands. So this is before the law where you could not do that. For those of you that don't know, this was Jacob. He had sex with one broad because he wanted her. The father snuck the older one in he didn't want. After he found out, he went and worked another 7 years to get the one he did want it. He did want, and he did not sin. He did not break the law because there was no law against that at the time. All right. Anything else?
Kawakan, this is from Rapaya Allah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it lawful to blow the shofar horn at sundown?
Is it lawful to blow it? Yes. There's no law against blowing the shofar horn unless it's something I don't understand. No, it's absolutely lawful to blow that goddamn horn. Blow it whenever you feel like blowing it. Just blow it. The memorial of the blowing of the trumpets is when we celebrate the time when that sound meant something to us. And we don't want to forget that because it'll come back. It'll come back. And what situation would the sound of an alarm matter? Danger. When there's danger, that's when you're listening for alarms. Like imagine you got an alarm in your house and you hear it go off at night. There's a certain alarm that when you have a ring alarm or something that says someone opened the door. There's another alarm that meant that somebody is in here they shouldn't be in here. There's an alarm when you stay in the house. There's an alarm when you leave the house, right? It was the same way with the blowing of the trumpets. There was an alarm that meant you're safe, go to sleep. You could go to sleep for the night. I think even in today's military, the white man's military, it's like dun 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 dun. That means everything is fine. Go to bed. And then there's one that gets you up out of bed. They call it blowing revelry, and that's gonna blow like 5 a.m. to get you the hell out of bed. Then there's another one that says we're in danger, we're under attack. There was a time when we were living in a condition where you were listening for that blow because we were in danger day and night. And you didn't sleep unless they blew that you could go to sleep. And you were waiting, jumping up when they blew that there was danger here. Then when they blew the alarm to rally to get to your work position, that was another horn that said to get to the wall. If you're on the wall guarding it, that sound means get up, get your weapon, and get on the wall. And everyone came and went based on the sound of a horn. That time could come again, so don't forget it. Remember what it's like. Appreciate the safety that you're in, and remember that there was a time when we were in absolute danger. Please.
If I could, so that sound is comparable with a bell today, right?
An alarm.
Okay.
That's why I use the term. The word alarm comes from the term alurum, which literally means the blowing of a trumpet. It's alurum. And now you call it an alarm. But it means someone is blowing, and you better pay attention. And you better listen to the tone, the song, to tell you whether and what you should do right now. You get my point. All right. Is there anything else?
Yes, sir. This is from UPK priest and officer.
I'm jammed up again. Last week, I'm jammed up again, just like last week. My apologies. Say again. No. 1 second. Let me see you for a second now. Come on. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. This is from UPK priest and officer Kwadashiala. If I may, sir, with your grace, why do fake Israelites feel we have to celebrate the new moon? Is it a scripture to debunk this?
The fake Israelites don't know the Bible, and they are learning the Bible from Jewish people. Okay, if you wanted to just how do I understand what's different about the Israelite School of UPK and the IUIC? That's the only one that I even know of anymore. I don't know if there are any other fake Israelite groups. I can assume that there's some rinky-dink Shabbat, Shakam, Shalom groups out there. I don't know anything about it. But the difference is that we do not get our doctrine from white people. That's the difference. And everyone else does. So if they're celebrating the new moon, it's because the rabbi that they listen to, celebrates the new moon. The white supremacist group that they follow believes that the rapture is coming this Tuesday. That's another thing that they're teaching now, you die. That the rapture is, I think, tomorrow or, tonight. I think Jesus is coming back tonight. I was in the car when I was late. I was coming in the car, right? On my phone in the car, I heard on my phone that Facebook Marketplace is bubbling with sales right now because so many white people think that Jesus is coming back tonight, and they're selling everything they own and giving it away. I did a group text to all my wives and told them to get out there and buy something tonight. Yediah, your microphone.
Good, sir. I literally just went on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody is selling their car right now for $100.
Listen, bros. Here's the alarm. Blow the alarm for Mahayaman's bros. Buy it. Buy it. Buy it. Get out there on Facebook Marketplace and have a car for me when I get out of here. Get me a new car to get around and get to the gym in. Tonight. Because white people are losing their goddamn mind and they damn near giving away all their goods. I don't think we have long, but I sent that text in the car right now. I'm not joking. Okay? That happened. Get out there and get white people's things out. They're giving it away. And the problem is that fake Israelites, because white culture is so ingrained in us, even when we go to invent a religion of our own, we're still going to get it from white people. We're still going to find a way to do it somehow. Which is why the IUIC is saying that Jesus is God. Jesus is God. They can't help it. It's like a slave trying to get free. He must come back home. He has to come back. He has to do it. And that's why. And so if that's to the brother's question, that's why fake Israelites celebrate the new moon, because Jewish people do. You also have fake Israelites going out and celebrating, what's the one with the tents? Feast of Tabernacles, right? The Feast of Tabernacles, white Jewish groups, they go out there and they celebrate it, like they're keeping the Feast of Tabernacles. And that's because those white supremacists all do that. Those white supremacists, they love to get out there in the woods. Now, the problem is they're going to molest you out of every orifice that you have when you go out there. And these Israelite groups are going to molest you when you go out to that Feast of Tabernacles. They are having more nasty sex out there than a Roman orgy. Just like the Christians on the retreats. Those Christians retreats is where you can go down there and really be a 15-year-old boy and live how you want to live out there with those church girls. You get up there, I'm joining the choir this week. I'm quitting the choir next week. I'm joining the choir for the retreat week because I'm 15 and I'm coming to tear the drawers off of every girl at the retreat. Well, these fake Israelites are. They're going to go out there for that Feast of Tabernacles. Whoa, hold on to your hat. Hold on to your headpiece. I wouldn't go if I was you. Everybody understands. I'm going to show you upstairs during Commander General YAHANNA's show that they had that Charlie Kirk memorial in Utah. Where was it at? Arizona. They said that Grindr froze. Who knows what Grindr is? Y'all don't know in here. I learned 2 days ago. Grindr is some website where the LGBT people go on there and meet other LGBT people for illicit romance, meaning quickies, meaning I'm in town tonight. Meet me up here. Let's have sinful relations and let's leave. It's called Grindr. The Grindr app froze, and it shows you on the map that it froze in the town that Charlie Kirk, gracias. It froze, gracias. It froze in the town that the Charlie Kirk Memorial was in. Grindr froze right there, and they show you the map. So many people that were down there because they loved white Jesus and his disciple, Charlie Kirk, that the gay websites froze. They froze. That's the Christian church. That's the Feast of Tabernacle in the IUIC. You go to that IUIC Feast of Tabernacle, you're going to get fondled and diddled and bediddled in every one of your orifices. All of them. If I was you, I wouldn't join a fake Israelite group, but that's just me. All right. Anything else?
Nothing online, sir.
Solid. Any questions in the room? Let me give you a few precepts then. All right. Bobbity bang bang. Let's show the grinder thing. Let's do that real fast. Can we do that? Do you have that? Let's show that grinder thing. Well, let me give you want a Charlie Kirk precept, everyone? Y'all need that for camp? Just found one just now by accident. Give me Titus 1. Titus 1, and we're going to take it down to 11. All right. Officer Bun, please. Please, go ahead.
So, I had a question. What's our stance on, there's a myth going around in white supremacist circles, also online, that Jewish people have been kicked out of, was it like 109, 116 countries? Have you heard of that? They get kicked out of every country, essentially, is what a lot of people are saying. Is that true historically? And if that is true, was that us, or was that the so-called white man calling himself a Jew?
Or they are being?
They've been kicked out of over 100 countries. I'm not sure how recent the last one was, sir.
Okay.
Question.
The myth that Jewish people of Amalek has been kicked out of hundreds of countries is doing what Amalek does so well, taking our history and claiming it for themselves. And in doing so, becoming the victim of the planet Earth who controls the planet Earth. Like, I've never understood the power that Amalek has to be the victim and the aggressor at once. Like, at once, oh, Schindler's List, oh, the Holocaust, what are we going to do? I got to go now because I own Hollywood, the banking system, the World Bank, all the presidents, every president that has ever lived, and they all owe me money and they all work for me. Please feel sorry for me. Please help me. It's an amazing thing to pull off. It's like being a giant and everybody still feels sorry for you. Well, they take our history of what we went through in the Bible, they claim it for themselves. They take our history of what we went through in Rome, they claim it for themselves. Now, when you get to actual white Jewish history, man, you probably have to go to the Renaissance to about the 1700s to get where this is actually white people. And then they're getting kicked out of a country because the people in the country eventually rebel against them because they're so rich and don't share with anyone. So then eventually the Germans say, we're starving to death. They won't give us any food. And then they do something terrible, which I do not condone in any way, violence to anyone, in the name of Charlie. I don't condone violence of any kind, of anyone to anybody. The German people use propaganda against them because they're so rich to then rebel against them. So then all the Jewish people had to leave Germany and Poland and France, and they went and got their own country. And now they're starving 3 million babies to death. So I try to feel sorry for Jewish people because they absolutely did get kicked out of Germany, Poland, and France. And damn, they went and parlayed that into a country of their own. And here I am sitting here praying that Donald Trump won't cut off my mother's health care. So it's hard for me to feel sorry for Jewish people the way I know I should, but I'm trying. Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Please, Kopa, please.
Why do they, what is it about their culture, about their game plan is their love for being hated? Why do they do that in every country they go to, or particularly in the U.S.? And then with what's going on in Israel, why are they insisting that it's videotaped? Why are they insisting and letting people know children died here, there were kids here when we bombed them, and showing that to the world? Is that part of that plan, essentially? Is that, do they believe they're the children of Israel and they want essentially to be hated by the entire world so they can claim to be us? Like, what's the point of that, sir?
They do not want to be hated by the entire world, but they do want to be feared by the entire world. So don't think hatred. Just think people are terrified to go to Gaza. People in Gaza are hearing about how they have to leave tomorrow. They're terrified to live there. You know what they're doing? They're doing to Gaza what has been happening to us for 200 years here in America. And you know, in America, brother, black men make up 6.5% of the population. I'm not talking about Hispanic men. I'm not talking about Haitian men. I'm talking about one tribe, black men, the tribe of Judah, 6.5% of the population. And they are 75% of the men in jail, 75%, which means that black men are being hunted day and night everywhere they go. And that also means that white men are committing crime freely and no one is even looking into it. This is how bad it is. This happened this week in Connecticut. In Connecticut, the government did an audit of their traffic stops. They went and looked at the numbers, the cops, and saw that they virtually gave no white people traffic tickets in a year in Connecticut, where there's nothing but white people. Do you know those cops went and forged 2,500 traffic tickets that they never issued to anybody, but they wrote white names on them. This is in the news. I got it. I'll send it to you, Dyer. He has it. They went and just put John McGillicuddy, Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. Charlie Kirk. They just went and wrote white names. And the government found out that these tickets were issued to no one. But when they heard there was going to be an audit and they would see that they did not pull over a white person in Connecticut, they just went and wrote names on them, white names. And the government found out. And that's in the news. You know, that means that white people are being accepted into Connecticut. But if you drive down the street in Connecticut, you're getting pulled over, which will make you do what? Stay out of Connecticut. That they want to make you afraid to go downtown, afraid to walk down this street, afraid to buy a house here, scared to death to buy a house here. And I'm from the tribe of Judah, and I don't know if it's built this in my blood. I took one of my sons out to Kutztown University, brother. I'm in the car like this here. I'm driving through those woods. I don't know if it's built into my DNA, but I know I could walk through the projects today and feel absolutely comfortable in projects. Like feel like, you know, all right, I'm home. This is where I belong. I'm good to go here. You know, it's fine with me. Brother, I said, I got to get out of here before it get dark. I was thinking it. I said, it is going to get, it was daylight. But in my mind, it was like, God damn it, I'm getting the F out of here before these lights go, before they get dark out of here. Lord, car, don't let, I said, do I have enough gas? You know, is the gas right? Okay. Is that going to get me home? I'm not getting stuck out in the goddamn woods. I don't, it's just the trauma is built in, I guess. You get my point? You die here. Go microphone. Go ahead.
If I could, I was talking to Officer Knock the other day. He was out doing a job somewhere out there in the woods, and he said it was devils out there fox hunting. Had the little buggies, had like 50 hound dogs. I'm like, sir, you gotta get up out of there.
I'm out. Goodbye. I need the street lights, and I need to be in the city. I cannot go where that is, and I know that comes from, 100 years of your uncle getting lynched and your grandfather, and before you know it, just seeing the woods and them little houses and all I got to get out of there, right? Everybody understands. So you get the point, Abun. It's fear. It's fear. And here's a terrible weapon that Amalek, or the so-called Jew, has, that in the wrong hands, it is terrible. The so-called Jew believes that they're the chosen people of God. And if that is in the wrong hands, you could do great cruelty believing that God is on your side. Like that's something that only we can handle because we're kind and merciful. Only we can take knowing that God is with us and this world was made for us, because we're still going to be nice. We're still going to be kind. We're still going to be generous and hospitable. But if a white man thinks that he's the chosen people of God, I would leave that place. I'd get up out of there before nighttime. You understand? All right. Is there anything else? Mm-hmm.
Kalataza, Slaki, sir. In Psalm chapter 4.
Let me inspire some righteousness in children. Little children in the back. You see this money right here? You see this? Y'all gonna sit down in those chairs and be quiet, because at the end of this, you earn some of this right here. Just sit down in those chairs and be good boys and girls. Ooh, and ask good questions and raise your hand, because at the end of this, look, good boys and girls are going to get some water ice. Do y'all still do that? Okay, yeah, maybe that's old. Back in the day, that would have got me to sit down. Say again? Ice cream. Okay, ice cream. Y'all eat that, I'm assuming. Oh, it's coming. Just stand by. You hear that, baby? Oh, yeah, listen. Listen. She wanted to start now. Give her one now. She done broke me now. Come on, bring her up. Give her one now. There's more where this came from, though. Come on, baby girl. You're a good girl. Come on up and get it. She's a good girl. You're going to be a good girl, aren't you? I know you are. Good job, baby. Clap it up. Yay, all right. Oh, it's more where that came from, children. Stand by. I see you, Kaparium. Kaparium said, hello. It's coming, Kaparium. Stand by. Kabod, stand by, Kabod. Because here it comes. All right. Now, Kabod stood up. It's coming, Kabod. Go ahead, Akim.
Kawakan, this is from Kalataza, Slaki, sir. Is Psalm chapter 4 and verse 4 speaking on meditating? And can I get a breakdown on for Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 18?
Okay, there are precepts in the Bible about meditate, but you don't want to think meditate. You want to think. Right? Meditating is thinking. Meditating now has a connotation of, ritualistic humming and chanting, which is not our culture. That's, Eastern. When I say Eastern, I mean East Indians. Like in Buddhists. I used to know that Buddhists chant Shim Nak Shim Shim Regio. I done forgot the whole thing. Alexa, what is the chant of Buddhism? I knew she wasn't gonna answer this. Somebody look up in your phone. Go ahead, sister, you know it? Let me get her and I'll get you.
Brought that home. Yay, kill.
Give that. I think that's it. I think that is it. Brother, did you have one? Okay, that sounds good too. Nam rek tone, chigio, jump tone, chigio. Break dick tone. Give Captain Aria. Captain Aria, his mother, he had to be 3. His mother had a twin sister that was a Buddhist. And she was babysitting him and took him over to the Namdik Rig Jigio house. Brother, the aunt said he was in there. They said, stand up. They said, Humnik Ring Jigio, Humnik Ring. And he left. He was 3 and ran out and wouldn't come back in the room and wouldn't hit him some room upstairs. I said, first of all, you take my son over there to that bitch's house again, we'll do things the other way around here. but that never happened again. Give the sister a hand. She saw she should not take my kids over to the Namnik Riggy Chigio house. Yedaya.
Sir, it's like 4 different chants and everybody was right.
Damn.
You were right. You were right person. So like it. You
okay,
right too.
Me too. Shit, all right. Okay. Well, that's what in your mind, when you hear meditation, you might think mind-numbing chants, which are unlawful, and Jesus Christ spoke specifically against doing that repeating and saying things over and over again. That's in the New Testament. All right. Meditating is thinking. You want to think. Thinking is a powerful thing. You don't realize that when you act on every emotion. That if you could slow down, the old heads used to say count to 10. You're angry as hell, cool out. It was a great help to me with lifting weights. And I know it was because of the counting. Just a simple, I'm not doing what I would do when I was a kid, which is just do it. Just take no pause, just jump. Just do it automatically, and coming into the truth and not being allowed to have the animal inside of me free. I try to define ways to think, right? And thinking is absolutely beneficial. And so when you read the term meditate in the Bible, just think. Everyone understands, all right? You can read the precept now.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 4 and verse 4. Stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. Salah.
Yeah, you can do that, but there's another precept where it says meditate terrors upon them day and night. That means think. And this also is thinking. It's the same thing. You're just thinking. You're thinking as opposed to acting with every emotion. Don't do that. That's something that as you mature, you're supposed to mature out of. But of course, your mother didn't, and your father didn't, and your uncles didn't, and the people you looked up to never matured. And so it can become very difficult to do something you've never seen. But those of you in here, you don't have that excuse anymore. I pray you understand. Is there anything else?
He had a follow-up precept, sir. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 18. Thine heart shall meditate terror. Where is the scribe?
That's it. That's the precept I'm talking about. Where you're going to just think about what you can do to scare the people who used to be in charge of you, but now you're in charge of them. And they don't get in order without being afraid. And we're going to make them afraid one day. I pray you understand. Lo entiendes, tú entiendes. Anything else?
This is from Isaiah Hagan. Shalom,
Gotcha.
Lord in Christ, sir. Can I get a general breakdown on Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6 through 8?
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 6 through 8. Please go ahead. Am I missing the video up here? Or am I good to go? I don't need to play anything. Let me know if I got to, if I need to. If we need to, if there's a pause in the questions, let's do it. If not, with General YAHANNA's permission, we can do it upstairs. All right, go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
This is speaking about the laws, statutes, and commandments. Keep therefore and do them, for this is, read that again.
For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Let me tell you what's very important in life, which many times you don't know how important it is. Your reputation is important. The reputation that you develop in this school, in this nation, and the reputation you develop outside of this school and outside of this nation. White people are supposed to look at you and go, those people are the wise people of the planet Earth. They're the upright people. They're the people that don't behave like white people. They don't do what we do. They don't assassinate people because they disagree with them. They don't go and murder people. I was doing research this week on some brother. I don't even remember his name, but he was an amazing, was it a tap dancer? It might have been a guitar player. And he was so amazing, and he would travel all over the country during the time of slavery. And he was just so famous. And he went to some city, and he's playing his guitar, and he was sweating so bad. And a white girl went and wiped his forehead with a handkerchief. They waited till he got out of the Iraq and castrated him and killed him because this white girl wiped his face. And there were black people with him that was telling him, you better get out of here. And he was like, because he was from the North, which would happen so many times, where you wouldn't realize what it was like. And then some white girl just went and wiped his face, and he's dead. And we would never do that to someone. You understand? We would never treat people the way that white people treat people. When we're in charge of the planet Earth, we will be so much more kind than they are because we keep the laws. We keep the commandments. All right. And that's our wisdom in the sight of the other nations. They'll see us and they'll go, I'm a white man that loves to kill people. Whenever I get a chance, whenever I can, for any reason, I should follow Hispanics. because somehow they find grace and mercy in the face of oppression, in the face of degradation. They find a way to forgive. They find a way to be kind. We should rule the planet Earth. And one of the greatest mistakes in history, if not the greatest, I'll have to ask Commanding General YAHANNA, is it the greatest? But as far as my assessment, the greatest mistake in history is allowing white people to rule the planet Earth. And that mistake was made by white people. White people should have not ruled the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, the British Empire, the French Empire, the Italian Empire. Other white people should have said, we should not sit in this position because we're too cruel. If you give us power, we're going to do what we did in Russia, do what we did in Rome, do what we did in Greece, do what we did in Germany, do what we did in Italy, which is get power and kill everyone else. Black people should rule the world because they're more kind than us. That's what a wise white man would have said. And because here we are still today, trying to find a way for white people to take their rulership into the next century. This week at that Charlie Kirk memorial, not that I would ever say anything against Charlie Kirk, because I do not condone murder of any kind or the death of anyone at any kind, okay? But at his memorial, there was a man named Stephen Miller who did an exact quote from Joseph Goebbels, Minister of Propaganda for Adolf Hitler. Did the quote, specifically did the quote. It's 2025. That white man wasn't alive in World War II. There's no reason for him to do that. But Charlie Kirk is dead now. And you know what that means? Someone else has to step up and be the new Charlie Kirk. The problem is, to be the new Charlie Kirk, you're going to have to be the most overtly racist white man that you can be, because they're waiting to see who now will take up the new position. I'm hearing online that they're starting to suspect that maybe one of his rivals might have been involved in a conspiracy to kill him. I don't know, but that's what I'm hearing online. Because it looks exactly like that. I could certainly understand it, because now that he's dead, at that funeral, people are stepping up to be as racist as they can be. That one who was caught with trafficking girls. Who's that one who's half black? He was trafficking girls. Andrew Tate said, I, as the father of white daughters, I'm afraid that somebody is going to rape my white daughters. I'm afraid of for the life of my white. Meanwhile, his daughters, he black and he had sex with a white. He raped the white girl, so to speak. So does, I'm sure his father, I'm sure his daughters, his wife's father didn't want him to have sex with his daughter, but he's afraid for the lives of his white daughters because someone might sexually assault them. I'm watching this, I'm going, boy, everybody now is trying to see who is going to get that $54 million that Charlie Kirk was getting. Here's the problem. The only way to get it is to hate black people. It's to hate Hispanics. And that should tell you something about white people. It should say something that the successor to Charlie Kirk is going to be the most racist person that they could find. And Stephen Miller, who works for Donald Trump right now, did a quote from Nazi Germany, 1943. Do you have it? Jesus Christ. Go ahead and play your day. For what? Let me know when it's up. So once again, we can't be like white people. Please.
I am the strength and her courage. I'm reminded of a famous expression. The storm whispers to the warrior that you cannot withstand my strength. And the warrior whispers back, I am the storm. Erica is the storm. We are the storm. And our enemies cannot comprehend our strength, our determination, our resolve.
He goes on to just do a white Nazi hate speech. That famous expression was made famous by Joseph Goebbels, 1942 at Nazi rallies in Germany. That's where that phrase comes from. Yeah, he's trying to be the new Charlie Kirk. We can't be like them. If white people had any sense, they would fight day and night to put black people in charge of the planet. They would fight day and night to put Latinos in charge of the planet Earth. Let me get the young sister's question. What's your question, sis? Give her the microphone.
Before they made the school, like before 1969, where did our Hebrew people go? Like, did they just stay together, or were they like separate?
Give her a hand, because that was an extremely intelligent question. She said before 1969, where did black people go for the truth? Before 1969, black people, Hispanic people just did the best that they could with the information they had at the time. They didn't know the truth the way you know the truth. They just tried their best. They tried their best to be good people. They tried to get through every day, to wake up in the morning and to go to sleep being a good person. But they didn't know the things that you and I know. You understand, baby girl? That was an intelligent question. And she knew about the school starting in 1969. Come on up and get some money. He threw that one in righteously. She knew that was the right thing. Come on up. Good job. What's your name? Come on up and get some. Give her a hand. She's very beautiful and brilliant. Very smart. Good job. Give her a hand. All right. Where are we at now? Go ahead.
This is from Woken Eyes. Can I please get a breakdown on Isaiah chapter 27 and verse 1 and the book of Psalm chapter 74 and verse 14?
No problem. You got it.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 27 and verse 1. In that day, the Lord with his sword and great and strong sword shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent.
Yeah, this is another biblical prophecy about the future Third World War. The Most High with his sword will pierce Leviathan. Leviathan is a great serpent. You can liken it unto a crocodile or anaconda, some great reptile that lives in the water, right? So a crocodile is a pretty good example, or an anaconda. It's not that specific in the Bible. It just means a great water reptile, which, a crocodile is a gigantic thing, an alligator or something like that, or an anaconda. So it's comparing our oppressor to a giant reptile in the water. And the Most High is going to pierce him like you would stab, if you're on a boat and you got to stab a crocodile or kill a crocodile. That's what the Most High is going to do to our oppressor. This is a metaphor for God destroying the great dragon, the great reptile in our lives. It's a metaphor for that. All right? Good to go? Please, microphone, please. Copa otra vez, please. Pardoname. Go ahead.
Salaki, sir, but so question. Satan's supposed to become divided in this time.
Say that one more time.
So Satan's supposed to be, or the devil is supposed to become divided at this time.
Satan is supposed to be Leviathan?
No, become divided.
Become Leviathan?
No, divided.
Oh, divided.
Yeah.
Satan is supposed to be divided.
Right.
Go ahead.
In this era, right? This is the beginning of their division. And but I'm trying to formulate this right. But then they're still going to, I guess, come together to oppress us, but still be divided. And then Third World War divided. Am I surmising this correctly?
Yeah, let me tell you, it's nothing that we would ever do, but it is white people. It's them. You ever hear this term? Politics makes strange bedfellows. You can Google that in your phones, right? If you want. It tries to make political allegiance is understandable to someone that is sincere and would never make an allegiance with someone that they hate. White people can make an allegiance with someone that they absolutely hate for power. Right now, in the let me tell you who's the two together in the Democratic Party. In the Democratic Party, you have the transgender community, the gay community, and Black Christians who go to church every day. How are they even together? Like, how would that fit? Like, to someone who does a drag show and reads books to children, who walks down the street naked on Gay Pride Day, and they are in the same political party as your grandmom who goes to church every day that the church is open. How is that even possible? Because white people have found a way to be with someone and not be with someone. They'll just do it for as long as they have to. They'll hate each other, but they'll do it. They'll find a way to be with each other. Who's in the Republican Party? A white supremacist who hate Jewish people. And they're in that party with Benjamin Netanyahu and Jewish people. They're together. And they hate Jewish people. They can't stand them. They'll be in that party with Black conservatives who they hate, but they'll still join. It's something that for me in my workout, I don't even really understand it. So I kind of focus on what is true. Because when it comes to politics, who in the hell knows what's true? Who in the hell knows who's an enemy and who's not an enemy? You get my point? Like, do you have the numbers on AIPAC? AIPAC, I sent you the numbers on AIPAC on who AIPAC sends money to with political parties. AIPAC is the Association for Israel. And they're a lobby, meaning they're a group of people that donate to politicians to get them elected. And AIPAC has donated $500 billion to the Republicans and $500 billion to the Democrats. And you look at that and you go, what? Which means that the Israelis don't believe in Republican or Democrat. That is something for the peons to think about. I'm a Republican. I'm a Democrat. I hate the left. I hate the right. There's somebody who is for both of them and paying both of them, and they don't have ideals. You get my point? They don't have a conscience. They just want to own people. And so you look at it and you go, how can they be divided and together? Easy. You couldn't do that. You have to be one thing. You get my point? You'd have to say, God damn it, I'm a Republican, I got to be it. Damn it, I'm a Democrat, I got to be it. Damn it, I'm a Christian, I got to be it. That is not how white people think of. They're not how we are, which is why you should rule the world, because you would take a stance that you actually believe in. Can you imagine having two political parties and you give them both money? That concept to me is, I don't understand it, because then that means I don't support either one and I support both. So what do I believe? Well, what's the thing that I think about voting, about immigration? Remember, one party is saying there should be no immigration. You should kick out every Mexican, every immigrant. The other party is saying bring them in. I'm giving money to both. So what in the hell do I believe? What's the thing that I think? I don't think a thing. I just want to be in charge of people. I'm on their side and I'm not. Officer Abud.
Colonel Consul, this is from AIPAC's website. It's 2024 results in terms of who they funded or supported. It says, AIPAC supports pro-Israel members of Congress from across the political spectrum, leading the fight to strengthen bipartisan support for the U.S.-Israel relationship. It says $31.5 million to pro-Israel Democratic candidates and $21 million to pro-Israel Republican candidates.
Whatever you believe in a thing, good. Just give me my way. That's all. You believe in you love the gays, here's some money. You hate the gays, here's some money. You love immigration, here's some money. You hate immigration, here's some money. Whoever is in power, give me my way on this thing. So this is going to be the future, where they'll be separated and divided. they'll be assassinating each other. I pray you understand. That man who assassinated Charlie Kirk, his father grew up Republican. He was a hunter, which lets you know what political party he grew up in, right? And then he assassinates Charlie Kirk, right? They're going to be with each other, against each other, hate each other to death, fight a third world war. And then when they see Jesus Christ in the sky with his army, they'll decide, hey, we got to come together. We got to fight this new threat, the way Ronald Reagan said it in the 1980s, when Ronald Reagan said, as I see our differences across the aisle and our differences with Russia and America, how much would our differences become small if an enemy from another galaxy or another planet endangered our lives? Then wouldn't we all come together? Yeah, they would. They would come together. They would squash their beef and decide for power, let's agree. Black people, we don't do that well. Black people do not unify well. And so many of you out there online, you think that is a detriment. You hear, I done heard this my whole career under Commander General YAHANNA. Why can't you come together with the other Israelite groups? Why can't you, and some faggot told me that some LGBT person told me this week online, General Mahayaman, why are you always talking about the IUIC? Why can't you unify with them? Why can't you come together with them? And as I read that, I go, this is a man who doesn't believe in anything. And you don't know what it's like to believe in something. If you really believe in something, you can't unify. Do you understand? Now, if I don't believe in anything, shit, bring the purple pigs, we'll all come together. The Sakari, you know how many years y'all was telling us to join with the Sakari and come together? Yediah, you know, Knock, you remember? How many years did you have to hear, why are you coming against the Sakari? All Israel should be one. There's no one of us that is righteous. We all should be unified. 4 years, you were telling us to come together with that man with a penne in Tukulo. And you were telling us, join with him, be with him, unify with him. The Sakari, he made some video, Captain Tazarian told me, where he said, we got to come together with the IUIC. The I.S.U.P.K is wrong. We got to be with them. We would never join any Israelite group ever. The only way an Israelite group could be with us is to throw away that group and become students and troopers in the Israelite School of UPK. We could never unify. We could never come together. For the sake of being one ultimate Voltron joined together Israelite group, we would never do that. We'd rather just be pure and sincere and on the side of right. A white man does not think like that. He would. If these Israelite groups were white, if the UPK was white, shit, we'd have joined these groups a long time ago. Made one giant Israelite group like Voltron. Came together as one and had a political front. Not under Commanding General YAHANNA's watch. Not under him. We join no one. We keep our integrity above power, above money, above gain. And this is something white people can't understand, which is also why they should not be in charge, and we should. You understand, warrior, correct? Anything else? Haz preguntas. Go ahead.
This is from Yasha Wam Ya'ala Bun Bunyamian, UPK.
Algo mas. That's anything else. Algo mas. Anything else? Algo mas. Go ahead.
Slaki, sir. Would Psalms 147 verses 19 through 20 be a precept to Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 6 through 8, sir?
Let me hear 24 through 68. What does that say? Through 68, or did he say 68?
Deuteronomy chapter 4 verses 6 through 8.
Let me get the little sister's question for 1 second. Give her the microphone back there. What's your question, sis?
Is ghosts real or ghosts fake?
Say that one more time.
Is ghosts real or fake?
Give her a hand, because that was an excellent question. She was articulate She was articulate and intelligent. She asked, are ghosts real or are ghosts fake? Ghosts are fake. They're not real at all. A ghost doesn't have a body. He doesn't have feet. He doesn't have hands, which means he can't hurt you. He's nothing. Ghosts are not real at all. Ghosts are little lies that they tell children to scare children. But you have nothing to be afraid of at all because ghosts are fake. Now come get some money for that excellent question. It was intelligent. It was articulate and informative and helpful to other children. She's beautiful and intelligent. Give her a hand. Well said. All right, next. Yes,
sir. You wanted the precept, you wanted the Psalm precept or Deuteronomy precept?
Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy, come on. This is the book of Deuteronomy 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nation.
He's asking, is that a precept for Psalms? Yeah. The precept he's pulling is that we're the prophets, and yes, use that. That the precept he wants to pull in Psalms is saying that the Lord only talks to the Israelites, and the Lord only talks to the Israelites. The other nations don't know God, which is why if you tell them that they're the chosen people of God, they'll starve 3 million children. Can you imagine what we would do in Palestine? You should think about that. Like, just switch places with the so-called Jew. Now, blacks and Hispanics, you're in charge of the planet. You control Palestine. You have nuclear weapons. You have all the money, all the resources your children have since the 1940s. Think about what you would do in Palestine. You would feed every child in Palestine, every last one. I love those videos. I try to keep them on my phone. When black people see a little white girl dancing hip hop music and they clap for her, or a white boy who's nerdy, but he knows how to dance and rap, and black people go, all right, Jeremy, go ahead, Jeremy. I love those videos because it shows that black people are the hospitable people. And we're kind to them. Now remember, that white boy is going to a house better than theirs. That little white girl, when she leaves that black barbecue, she is going to a house that is better than the barbecue she was at. Even the whole term, when you know how black people say, we'll invite this white person to the barbecue. You know what I know white people don't realize? The place where the barbecue is at is the ghetto. The place she lives in is an upper class white neighborhood. We can't even drive down her block. We could never go to a barbecue in the white neighborhood, but we invite white people to a barbecue in Detroit, in North Philly, in Camden, in South Central, in the South Side of Chicago. Yeah, you're invited to the barbecue. Why? Because she said something nice. Because she showed she was kind. Yeah, you're invited to the barbecue. I go, wow, that's amazing. Because if I go to that white barbecue, I'm not going to make it home. I won't make it home. What does that tell you about us? In poverty, we are willing to share more than white people are in wealth. We're willing to share. Who do you think would have a better barbecue? Black people or white people? If white people have a barbecue arc, there's going to be every indulgence there, and Kid Rock is going to perform at a white barbecue. Beyonce will be there. Do you know? I hate to do this because it's going to make me angry. Tell me what black performers have performed at bar mitzvahs. Brother, Beyonce is going to be on this mother effing list. You understand me? Jay-Z is going to be on this list of performing at a Jewish bar mitzvah for some 13-year-old kid. You don't know who his father is. You've never heard of him. But Rihanna is going to be at this bar mitzvah, performing there as a paid entertainer. Meanwhile, we can't go. We can't go. At our barbecue, where we Thank the Lord if there's cold beer and chicken and good potato salad. They're invited. They can come. We should rule the world. That means that we're the good people. We're the kind people. We're the people in poverty. We're willing to be more hospitable, more conscientious than they would ever be in wealth. A bun.
This is from Google, AI overview. Many artists and public figures have performed at bar mitzvahs, including Lil Yachty, Nicki Minaj, Drake, and Lil Baby.
Stop. I didn't want to hear this. I know I didn't want to hear that Drake performed at some Jewish man's bar mitzvah who I've never heard of, who I don't know who he is. But some Jewish man said, hey, little, give me a Jewish name, a boy's name. Hey, little Malika, who do you like? Well, Dad, for my bar mitzvah, I'd like Drake. No problem, little Ben Yehudi. If you drive Drake, his security or the people that fix his lights better be on that bus, because if he drives to that neighborhood and they don't know he's with Drake, he's getting pulled over in Connecticut. Aren't we the kind people? Aren't we generous? Give the brother in front of you. Let the bun finish. The bun, you finish and give it to him.
I had more. I had, while less common, pop stars like Justin Bieber have also performed at these events. And then it says, athletes. It says, athletes have attended and performed at bar mitzvahs, such as MLB star Hank Aaron, who danced and sang, and former NBA.
Why'd you read that?
NBA and former NBA player Shaquille O'Neal. That's it.
Brothers, we got to pray more and get Christ back. We obviously got to work harder, because Hank Aaron had to go to some Jewish man's bar mitzvah and perform for a 13-year-old boy. Shaquille O'Neal had to bring his giant ass into a 13-year-old boy's bar mitzvah. And you know what's all over the internet? You're invited to the cookout. You're invited. Who the fuck wants to come to your cookout? I want to go to that bar mitzvah. Hank Aaron and Shaquille O'Neal are there. Invite me to the bar mitzvah. Can I come to the bar mitzvah? I want to see Rihanna. Can I come to the bar mitzvah? Here we are inviting people to the cookout. Bring me to the bar mitzvah to see Shaquille O'Neal and Hank Aaron at a goddamn bar mitzvah. I got to go. I have to get out of this class tonight. Here you go, more questions. All right, you're going to break me with this one. Okay, you must do it.
Just a precept.
Please.
Ezekiel 16:34.
I will break it down.
No, I think it ties into what you guys are saying.
Please read it then.
And the contrary is in thee from other women of thy whoredoms, whereas none followeth thee to commit whoredoms, and then thou givest a reward, and no reward is given unto thee. Therefore, you are contrary.
Excellent. Give him a hand. Well said, brother. Perfect precept. Let me know you die when you want me to roll. Solid. Anything else? Last question. We good? I'm sorry. No more questions. Let's get the young men out. Let me tell you about these two young brothers right here, Kabod and Kaparium. Get them both a hand. You brothers might not have noticed this, but they waited until the young sisters could get the money first. That was very kind, Kaparium. You waited until the young sisters got the money until your turn. Very kind, Kabod. Kabod did an excellent thing. They showed discipline. They waited until their end. Come on up, Kabod. Come get some. This cat here is a young, strong gentleman. You see him up here. You see what he's dealing with. Come on, come. That's right, brother. Good job, Kabod. Good job. Give him a hand. Come on, let everybody see it. Good job. You see all that? That's the Israelite School of UPK, young brother. Go ahead and get on out of here. Come on up, Kaparium. Look at Kaparium. Intelligent, strong. Give him a hand. Knows the salute. How about some y'all shy brother? You know. Good job, brother. You waited until the end. You're very patient and wise and strong. Give him a hand. Well done. Nog, I appreciate you, Tawada. With that, we're going to pass the class over to Priest Officer Mathumya. You got it.
All right. All right, with it. All right, this is I.S.U.P.K security announcements. With the I.S.U.P.K started on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. At the 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10 means 10th in the Hebrew. My Ishura, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give the Treasury Department. Priest fund, free will priest for offering, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you are like. Upcoming holy convocations, we got the Day of Atonement. That's the 10th day of the 7th month, which is Tuesday, September 30th. If you want to read up on it, go to Leviticus chapter 23, read down to 27 and 32. Remind Akim Agwati and check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school to start wearing all black, boot, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf, with that, a module, just the men. All right, men of Israel, we're going to get a brothers one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, module, Shabbat. What? Rock. Yeah, how about you got a thumb? So you're gonna get y'all module Shabbat. All right, brothers, we're gonna get a sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, module Shabbat. Much. Rock. Yeah, how about you got a shot? Gajah Matai, hands down, class dismissed.